What's up, y'all? First and foremost, I want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. A lot of times it's a thankless job. A lot of things, you try and make happen behind the scenes, people may never even know about, but you do it anyway, whether you get praise or not, because that just comes with the territory. But the things people can see, we want to make that known, especially in a positive light, as far as staying in shape. Because I know a lot of people say because they have children, they don't have time to take care of themselves. And that's a big part of society, always being the sacrificial lamb, never being able to do anything for yourself or whatever, because you always got to put everything and everybody first, and you seem selfish if you just want to take some time to do some things to take care of you. It's like today that's like shunned upon. A guy doing something that doesn't benefit anybody else but himself. But what they fail to realize, the better you take care of yourself, the better you'll be able to perform for everybody else. That includes, your fitness. In society, they have this term coined dad bod. Like, once you become a father, you're supposed to just settle. And, they call it settling down. I hate that term because it's like you're not supposed to keep the same energy that you have before you became a father. Like, just settle down, calm down, and just accept, what society has for you. And that's just a bunch of bullshit. They already put a bunch of stuff in our foods to kind of dumb us down and keep our energy low. It's not really have any kind of nutritional value. And so it's like the premise is that's what they want you to settle for. You're a dad now. You're not supposed to be so high energy or anything like that. And being a dad, that should be even more reason why you should be getting yourself into shape and taking care of yourself, because you have other people looking at you, looking up to you. A lot of times, because you don't take care of yourself, you're actually hurting them. You're hurting your kids. They miss out on experiences because you don't take care of yourself. Like, I can give you plenty of examples. Let's just say if your kid is in school and they have a chaperone, they're trying to volunteer for chaperones, maybe for a field trip or something like that. And, your kid are going to look at you and be like, I don't want my dad showing up so they can make fun of him. You know, I'm not going to give them a reason to make fun of me during the school year. Or even if y'all are on a vacation, or just, it doesn't even have to be a vacation, it could just be a family outing. There's a lot of dads that probably dread going to Disney World or Six Flags or something like that, something interactive, because now they're thinking, man, that's a lot of walking, you know. So now they're trying to just throw different ideas. Anything that doesn't have to do with any kind of walking or any kind of physical activities. And a lot of times, your children miss out on experiences such as things as simple as just hiking or something like that they've never done before. The first time they do it is maybe when they're older with a group of friends or something like that, because their parents were never in shape enough to even give them that type of experience. Even if they go to play sports, you can't even engage and help them practice on certain things because you're not physically fit enough. You didn't take care of yourself enough. So it actually affects the performance of your children. And you say you want to give them the best chance. You're not. Neglecting yourself and your health is also neglecting your children as well. So if you think just because someone's going to feel neglected or a certain type of way because you want to take an hour or so to try and, or even, it could be 30 minutes to do some kind of exercise or whatever to get in shape, then sometimes you gotta cut certain people out, because the only thing they're gonna do is just hold you back, and that's gonna hold you back from doing more for the people that you say you love. On top of that, not even, let's just get off just the fitness or the exercise tip. Even when it comes to nutrition, your habits of how you eat also goes down to your children. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of you have probably seen somewhere in public, whether in a grocery store or in an outing somewhere, both the parents are big, the kids are big, and they didn't get big by themselves. They adopted the same habits that their parents did. And especially if the father's there, if the father's out of shape, that dad bod, because sometimes this dad bod even goes to the extreme. Person will be 5'7", 317 pounds, and they say, oh, that's a dad bod. That's not a dad bod. I don't care how you feel about it. It is what it is. So they try to feed you this stuff just to settle. So everybody talking about the bare minimum. You're doing the bare minimum for yourself, and in retrospect, you're doing the bare minimum to help your kids grow up to be healthy. And it's just a domino effect, because maybe your parents were the same thing, and you incorporated and got their habits, and now you're sending those same habits down to your children, and your children might pass on those same habits down to their children. And as time goes on and they get more and more processed foods, it just gets worse and worse and worse. If you look at the history of what the average body fat percentage of people were, the further you go back in time, the less body fat percentage on average people had. So especially when they start coming out with all these extra ingredients and stuff, and putting more sugar in foods that don't even need sugar on top of that, just, to make a buck, because sugar is addictive, so it's going to keep you wanting to buy more. And so it really is all about the money. And I'm going to do another video on that topic about how they screw you when you're young and you're old. You're either going to pay up front more healthy food, or you're going to pay even more on the back end when it comes to the medicine you're going to need, because you keep eating the cheap foods. But it's for another time. But I say all that to say, neglecting yourself and accepting this dad bod culture is screwing not just you, but your kids as well. You want to be the best performing that you can, because hopefully your kids outlive you. So you don't want them to have memories of you, yeah, dad couldn't really do too much because he ate himself into being handicapped. Because a lot of these diseases and stuff are preventable. And even if things like cancer, that can happen to anybody that's healthy, you don't want to increase the chances of it happening because you couldn't put down, the ice cream or something like that, or, just certain things. Because you ate unhealthy, you drastically increase, certain ailments, because everybody has cancer cells, but not everybody has to have cancer. You know what I'm saying? You can still develop lung cancer and never smoke, but you don't want to increase it by smoking cigarettes. So if you're a dad and you're neglecting your own health, you're doing a massive disservice for your kids. They shouldn't be the reason or the excuse that you have, I have kids, so I don't have time to work out. You can, while you're sitting there watching TV, when a commercial break comes on Netflix or whatever streaming service you're watching, you can get down and bust out some push-ups and do some crunches, do some squats, during the commercial break, sit right back on the couch and watch. Commercial break comes up again, you're knocking them out. There is time. It's only if you make time. And if it's not important to you, you're going to find all kinds of excuses not to make time. So if you need help with a structure or a meal plan, I have a coaching service. You can find me on Instagram. You can look at Body Game Dynamics, Body Game _ Dynamics. That's my handle on Instagram. And you can set up a coaching call. We'll see if you're serious. We can set up a coaching call to get you right. Stop neglecting yourself so you can live a better future with your kids.